Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. This was the scene a few minutes ago. The dog pound in full roar as their Browns emerge from their tunnel. They're ready to go as they get set to match up with the Houston Texans. So here's Kaimi Fairbairn to do the honors. And off we go from Cleveland. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. So here come the Browns for their first drive on offense. Under center, it's the 2017 Heisman Trophy winner as you get a look at Baker Mayfield. Carry for Nick Chubb. And he's upended after a gain of 4 up to the 25-yard line.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
Let's go. A little flare. King. I got you.
Mayfield hands it off to Chubb. And an alley to run. And they're able to get this one across the 35. That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 12.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking.
And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground.
Good job.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. A run for Nick Chubb. And he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up 3rd down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
He's got Njoku, his big tight end. The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Pass complete, but no gain.
No yards.
Yeah.
So you file that as unsuccessful.
Yeah, you do, don't you? Except on the stats, throwing the ball.
Get a completion.
You get a catch.
Yeah.
But still, no yardage. Okay.
The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Back to throw, Watson. Trying to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-round pick, Demarius Randall. And this return is going to be halted right around the 28-yard line. Not a good omen there. His first throw of the afternoon, intercepted.
And I know what the fans are thinking right now. I hope there's not negative thoughts in his head going forward since that's his first throw of the game. But one of the things I remember about him coming out of school is he's able to wipe things away pretty easily and move on.
On 1st down, Chubb able to get forward for about 4 as he's taken down. Tashawn Gibson there on the tackle.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Alert, alert! Alert, alert! What?
From the 24, Mayfield flushed out right, and he's got the hook up to Landry. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. A 24-yard touchdown as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter.
Great field position has to be one of the best friends an offense can have. When you don't have very far to go, you should cash it in with points.
Well, that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them. In plus territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, pay dirt. That's fielded in the end zone. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Football going back to the Houston Texans. We've got another AFC South title this year. Their 4th in 5 seasons. No early exit in the playoffs. They came back to beat Buffalo in OT in the wild card round. Then that stunning 24-0 lead against Kansas City in KC. And you have to imagine they're going to be seeing Patrick Mahomes in their dreams all offseason. Probably a lot of nightmares.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt. Kind of reminds you of a Metallica song, doesn't it? Right? I mean, with those kind of nightmares, you don't want to go to sleep. But I go back to something you mentioned earlier. Another AFC South title. Their 4th in 5 years. That's a lot of success that I don't think they get credit for. Because
DeAndre Hopkins, he's all alone. Touchdown, Houston. DeAndre Hopkins, 70 yards as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. And sometimes those slants, they can be so tough to defend after the catch. It just happens so quickly.
And really, what gets set up there is how quickly everything happens. Ball's out of the hands of the passer in a hurry, and he just takes it and goes.
And he went all the way into the end zone. That drive started on their own 25. 2 plays, 75 yards later, into the end zone. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. CD, we got a little time here before Cleveland takes their next snap on offense. Quite a ride, really, for the Browns in 2019. Freddie Kitchens really hardly knew you. Gone after 1 season. Remember, people had elevated the Browns, not just playoff contenders, really, but Super Bowl contenders in the preseason. But that 6-10 finish brought them back to earth in a big way.
Well, let's go back to the preseason, and we did talk about those high expectations. I think that you and I both pumped the brakes on the Super Bowl talk. I thought playoff talk was legitimate. And when you look at this roster, whoever ends up taking over as the head coach of the Browns, they should be very happy with the talent that they have and a chance to chase a division title in the AFC North. So we'll see if this team matures, learns from this past season where expectations were too high and they didn't come close to meeting them. But I think it's a roster well worth noting that they can make some noise if they come together and play at their best.
They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. That's good for a Cleveland first down, an 11-yard pickup. Getting the sense, Charles, they're going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far is working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
Chubb on first down, not going to go anywhere as he'll lose 3 on that one. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. On to the second from Cleveland. It's the Browns in control of the football as they've got it with a 2nd and 13 forthcoming.
Let's go, defense. Hey, Charlie. Let's go, defense. Who we got? 41 Mike. 41 Mike. Right here. Up. Hey, we heavy on the edges. Heavy on the edges. King.
Now on 2nd and 13. Mayfield escaping the pressure right. He'll wind up with positive yardage. It's a gain of 3, but now it's 3rd down.
They brought the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead, he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir. Able to turn that into a positive gain. On 3rd down, Mayfield. Got an open man. That's David Njoku, the tight end. Just a 5-yard pickup, but it leads to 4th down.
Looked like the screen pass was taken away there, and that was a nice job of improvising, but it's not normal. Usually when the screen pass is taken away, you're taught to just throw the ball at the ground at the feet of the receiver so that you don't get it intercepted and just start over, but he ended up finding another receiver.
And no move to get the offense off the field. They're going on 4th and 5.
Kings! Hey, Haywood!
Mayfield to throw for it on 4th. And that is going to be incomplete. The former first-round pick, Vernon Hargraves, the one who was there defensively. Well, partner, let's put a bow on the Super Bowl for Kansas City. What a comeback win. Yet another come-from-behind victory for Patrick Mahomes and company. An absolute heartbreak for San Francisco.
Didn't Madden predict Kansas City would win the game?
Yes, 35-31, I believe they predicted.
I felt like most of the predictions I saw had the game in the 30s. So a little bit lower scoring than we expected, but a lot of fireworks down the stretch, all by Kansas City. But how about San Francisco? Had the lead in the ball, under 12 minutes to go, and held Kansas City to 10 points through 3 quarters. And somehow they're winging their way back to San Francisco and trying to understand how they lost that game.
Yeah, not only did Kansas City win it, but they end up winning it by 11 points. They didn't see that coming at all. A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Great coverage there all around. Really didn't have many options to throw the football.
Very little chance that that one was going to be completed. Every receiver was locked up.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And he's got the completion to Hopkins. 20, 10, touchdown, Houston. DeAndre Hopkins. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Texans have taken the lead.
Well, if the plan is to come in here and go toe-to-toe with these guys, it certainly does not hurt if you hit them with a big shot along the way, too.
That's got to give them some confidence. And the other thing right now, it quiets this crowd, at least for the time being.
Yeah, that is what is called the intended consequence of their actions.
The drive there only spanning 3 plays. And the result, a Houston touchdown. So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The offense trots back out there. Let's turn our focus now to Nick Chubb. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the 2nd quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. A gain of 32 that time.
But we spent a lot of time exalting the offensive masterminds in this game, right? They draw up these beautiful plays. They look so perfect up on the board. But occasionally, sometimes you just say, throw it up and let him go get it. How about that play?
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10.
Alert, 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 alert.
They run. Chubb. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4. I think you mentioned in the opening drive that these guys needed to establish the run, protect the young QB. Actually wrote that down, believe it or not. So how would you assess things so far?
I'm kind of touched that you actually wrote something like that down. I appreciate that, partner. But I do think they've been able to do that. Maybe not as effectively as they've wanted to, but I think we'll see more of as this game goes along because they want to continue to take care of that young QB.
Now Chubb. Oh, he knocks him over. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Nick Chubb, 33 yards. As they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. Extra point by Seibert, up and good. And we've got a tie game here in a back-and-forth first half. Just a 4-play drive that time. And Nick Chubb, the one to finish it off, as he does so with a touchdown run. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line.
Let's go.
Getting set to go again, DeAndre Hopkins marches back onto the field. He has certainly made the most of his catches so far, both of them going for touchdowns here in half number one.
And we've never met a team that doesn't talk about getting off to a fast start and featuring guys that they want to have the ball early. We're seeing both of those come into play here. Off to an incredible start, got their feature guy going, and now everyone else should have opportunities.
Watson on first down. That complete to Lamar Miller. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice gain.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. A shotgun snap for Watson. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Olivier Vernon coming in with some force for the sack that time. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. After the sack, they're staring at a challenge basically from the other side of town. It's 2nd and a country mile. Now Watson. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
No run call here. They'll look to throw instead, eluding the pressure right. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. Well, shame on them, Coach Davis. They went against your advice. They threw the football, and now they're backed up to punt this away.
They're actually fortunate. They went against my advice, but they didn't turn it over, right? No takeaway for the defense. They'll punt it now. They probably could have gained a few yards if they ran it, though, and helped out with field position.
And it's fielded at the 34. And that's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown, and now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things.
Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Whitney Merciless barreling in for the sack.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
And he'll push forward here for a good little run as the clock continues to run. The Browns will quickly use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. On the carry, it's Chubb. And he gets this only to the 44-yard line. Not near enough to keep the drive alive. It'll be a gain of 3 on what should be the final play of this first half. Here's Jamie Gillen now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. So we've hit halftime all evening. And now due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the 2nd half. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. And now out comes Houston. First half showed us some pretty good offense. Tie game. We'll see what the second half brings.
And it'll be interesting because I think both sides feel pretty good about what their offenses are doing. Got to wonder what adjustments are being made defensively to try and get a spark and maybe slow down the other side.
But here, do you change up anything on this opening drive?
Not offensively, you don't. You got everything going your way. You've probably prepared for maybe some change-ups you might expect, but overall, you like what your game plan's showing you.
On 2nd and 15 now. Watson, and he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. And now a timeout called defensively by the Browns. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. Following the sack, it's now 3rd and long for Watson and the Texans. 3rd and long, it's Watson. Buying time to his left. He's going to run, but he's got a long way to go. The scramble good for a nice gain of 10 yards, but still 4th down.
I thought he did a pretty good job there to get back what he could, but let's face it, that sack on 2nd down, talk about throwing a wrench into the works. It certainly did.
Yeah, he did everything he could there trying to pick up some positive yardage, and he did, but not enough. Anger is on to punt, and he gets this one away. This is taken at the 23. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Here's the Browns now. They get set for their first possession of the third quarter. Their defense did its job, yielded no points. Now it's the offense's turn.
And how much fun is that when you set things up to start a half and you just tell your guys, hey, if you can shut them down, get it back for our offense, we can roll. And they played out perfectly. Now, can the offense do what they wanted to do at the half, which is find those weaknesses and now attack them and score some points.
And break this tie. They run it again with Chubb. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. That's good for a Cleveland first down and 11-yard pickup.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along. They're
going to run this with a tight end. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd and 7, Mayfield. This is the tight end, Njoku. And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down.
That was impressive to me because while it was a pass play, they still rallied to the football like they were filling running lanes, and they were able to put the receiver on the ground.
They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here.
Watch the safety creep.
Mayfield. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
They can't stop us, baby. Every time.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye. That happened fast and a big sack. Here's Jamie Gillen now. He'll boot it away from about his 35. Now this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. To say they've kept him under wraps running the football, that's an understatement. He's been completely neutralized.
Yeah, they've essentially taken him out of the game, haven't they? And you know all the teams say, we're not going to let him beat us. That's exactly what's happening.
And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. Sheldon Richardson never giving up. He works his way to the QB for a loss of 12.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Watson. Going deep here for Stills. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by Morgan Burnett, and his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line.
Well, it's 3rd and long, and you've got a few different ways to play it offensively. But this is not the type of offense that's going to wave the white flag. They're going to keep chucking it. And this time, it results in an interception.
The Cleveland offense ready to go. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
On 2nd and 7, Mayfield. They set up the screen to Chubb. And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. And we're back now here in Cleveland. All square, 14 apiece to score as we get ready for the 4th quarter. The Browns on 3rd down. Not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 11.
Watch the eye. Regular.
On the ground, it's Chubb. And an alley to run. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Show it. Watch out.
They run again on 1st down, Chubb. And not much running room. Down to the 32. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. The Browns on 3rd down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 8.
Check 52. 6 guys. Check 6 guys. Check. Point it right.
Mayfield to throw it. He finds Beckham complete. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that, got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
It's 2nd and goal, back to the 8-yard line now.
Double up. He's coming, double up. Kill.
They'll try again with Chubb. Hammering for the goal line. He loses the football. Now the Texans will burn the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. They come out here in the eye. As big of a play as we've had in this one so far. This is 3rd and 3.
Hey, watch this. Check.
On the ground with a tight end. And he's going to be taken down here still a couple yards short of the first. Only a yard there, so it brings up 4th and goal. But defensively, that's a nice stop there on 3rd down here in the 4th quarter. Now, offensively, kicking the field goal, taking the lead, right?
It certainly appears that way, doesn't it? Especially since you got stopped on the previous play. But if you've got something you really like, something that you've practiced all week, and you think, hey, this is the time to use it, this is the play, I wouldn't be deterred. I would gamble a little bit and go for it right now.
So it's an old-school extra point that counts 3 times. So it's certainly a disappointment they weren't able to get it in the end zone.
Yeah, I can just imagine post-game, head coach looking at the box score, 19-yard field goal, grimacing a little bit, but having to realize that at that moment, getting 3 points was vital. Go ahead and get the points, put them on the board.
Watson and the Texans now. Down 17-14, 2:22 on the clock. Deuces wild. Now a throw here to his running back. He finds an opening past the 40. Lamar Miller past the 20. Touchdown, Houston. Lamar Miller, 75 yards. And the Texans have retaken the lead. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just one play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. Remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. And now the attention, it turns to the Browns. Trailing by 4, 2:06 to play. They'll have one play, maybe 2, before the 2-minute warning, as they've got a first down. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. It'll be a minimum pickup, and it will take us to the 2-minute warning. Tackle made by Whitney Merciless. 4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game. So the Browns in possession. The football here as we get you reset. They come up on a 2nd down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down the wire. Now a throw here going to be taken in by the tight end Njoku. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. That'll move the sticks for the Browns, a gain of 20.
Check, 41. Rip left.
First and 10 at the 35-yard line.
Watch the twist. Twist on travel.
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. Now the Browns signal for the second of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
We got heavy. Everybody scoot up. Heavy.
Mayfield to throw. Now a desperation throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And the return stops at the 39-yard line.
And that one, it's going to hurt big time. You're in the 2-minute drill trying to get your guys down the field, and it's looking like they're going to go up just short, as this is definitely not his best throw. And it'll wind up being intercepted.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. That's a gain of 4 here in the 4th quarter, with them leading by 4 on the scoreboard. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Again, it's Miller. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a first. And now the question everyone's wondering, look at the clock, late 4th quarter, do they put the ball in the air here on 3rd?
I don't. I run the football, and I tell my offensive line, no leakage up front. I don't want my running back hit as I hand the ball off to him. I don't want any type of an issue. But if I am going to throw it, quick throw, out to the perimeter, maybe one of my best receivers running a quick slant or something like that.
It'll go as a gain of 9, and that should write an ending to this one. A first down carry now for Miller. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. So Houston going to come away here with the victory. And it was their defense that led the way, allowing just 3 points, that lone field goal in the entire second half.
And remember,